Captain Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge of the UES Defiant and watched the stars through the main window. The ship had been traveling for 3 years now, moving through empty space far from Earth. She was proud of her crew. 200 good. People who had left their families behind to explore the unknown parts of the galaxy. The year was 2387. Humans had been traveling between stars for almost 200 years. But they still knew very little about the rest of the galaxy. Earth had colonies on 12 different worlds, but they were all close to home. The Defiant was different. It was built to go farther than any human ship had gone before. Elena looked at the charts on her command screen. They were now 3,000 light-years from Earth, in a part of space that human maps showed as empty. But the sensors were picking up something strange. There were energy readings that did not match anything they had seen before. "Captain," said Lieutenant Torres from the sensor station, "I'm getting some very odd readings out there." 3 large objects just appeared on our screens. "They were not there a minute ago," Elena frowned. "Appeared? You mean they just showed up?" "Yes, Captain. Like they were invisible before and suddenly became visible. The objects are huge. Each one is at least 10 times bigger than our ship." Elena felt her heart start to beat faster. First contact with alien life was something every space captain dreamed about. But it was also something every captain feared. No one knew what they might find out here in the dark. "Put it on the main screen," she ordered. The view changed to show 3 massive ships floating in space nearby. They were black and silver, with sharp edges and strange symbols glowing along their sides. They looked like they were built for war. Elena had never seen anything so large or so frightening. "Red alert," she said quietly. "All hands to battle stations." The alarm began to sound throughout the ship. Elena could hear the crew running to their positions. In the past 3 years, they had practiced this drill many times. But this was not a drill. "Captain," said Communications Officer Kim, "I am getting a transmission from the lead ship. It is coming in on all frequencies. Put it through." The main screen changed to show a face that was clearly not human. The being had gray skin and large black eyes. Its head was longer than a human head, and it had no nose, just 2 small holes. When it spoke, its voice was cold and flat. "Unknown vessel," the alien said. "You will identify yourselves and surrender immediately. I am Admiral Kethver of the Zephyrian Hegemony. You have entered space that belongs to us. All ships that travel here must bow to our authority." Elena looked around the bridge. Her officers were watching her, waiting for her response. She could see fear in their eyes, but also trust. They believed in her. They believed in what they were doing out here. "This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the United Earthship Defiant," she replied. "We are explorers from Earth. We mean no harm to anyone. We did not know this space belonged to you." The alien admiral made a sound that might have been laughter. "Ignorance is not an excuse. For 3,000 years, the hegemony has ruled this galaxy. Every species that travels between the stars serves us. This is the natural order of things." "Natural order?" Elena said. "What do you mean?" "We are strong, you are weak. You will serve us or you will die. It is simple. Your ship will come with us to the nearest hegemony world. Your crew will be processed and assigned to work duties. Your ship will be added to our fleet." Elena felt anger building inside her. She had heard stories like this before, back on Earth. Stories of bullies who used their strength to hurt others. Stories of tyrants who called their cruelty the natural order. Her grandfather had fought against people like that in the old wars on Earth. "I need time to think about this," she said. "You have 5 minutes," the admiral replied. "If you do not surrender by then, we will take your ship by force. Do not make this harder than it needs to be. Every species resists at first. But and they all bow to us. It is the way of things." The transmission ended. Elena turned to face her crew. "All senior officers to the ready room, now." 5 minutes later, Elena sat at the small table in the ready room with her top officers. Chief Engineer Marcus Chun, Security Chief David Park, Medical Officer Dr. Sarah Kim and Executive Officer Commander James Wright. Opinions? Elena asked. Those ships could destroy us without breaking a sweat, Chun said. Our weapons are designed for exploration, not war. Theirs are clearly built for fighting. The crew is scared, Dr. Kim added, but they are also angry. No one likes being told they have to be a slave. Commander Wright leaned forward. Captain, we all knew this mission was dangerous when we signed up. We came out here to represent the best of humanity. What does it say about us if we just give up at the first sign of trouble? Security Chief Park nodded. The crew is with you, Captain, whatever you decide. Elena looked at each of them. These were good people, smart people, brave people. They had families back on Earth who were counting on them to come home. But they also had something else. They had principles. They believed that freedom was worth fighting for. The Admiral said every species bows to them in the end, Elena said slowly. He said it like it was a fact of nature, like gravity or the speed of light. Maybe it has been true so far, Wright said. But maybe it does not have to stay true, Elena stood up. I have made my decision. We are going back to the bridge. When they returned to the bridge, the alien admiral was waiting on the screen. Your 5 minutes are up, he said. What is your answer? Elena looked around the bridge one more time. She saw her crew watching her. She thought about Earth 3,000 light years away. She thought about all the humans who might someday travel these same stars. She thought about what her grandfather would do. Admiral Kethfer, she said in a clear, strong voice. This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the United Earthship Defiant. Here is my answer. She paused for a moment, making sure her words would be remembered. Negative. The used Defiant recognizes no authority but Earth and the principles of human freedom. We will not surrender, we will not bow, and we will not be slaves. The alien admiral stared at her for a long moment. His black eyes seemed to grow even darker. Impossible. He said quietly, no species has ever said no to us. Not in 3,000 years? Well, Elena said with a small smile. I guess there is a first time for everything. The transmission ended. Elena turned to her crew. All hands, this is the captain. We have just told the most powerful force in the galaxy that we will not surrender. They will probably try to destroy us. But today we showed them something new. We showed them that humans do not bow to anyone. She paused, looking out at the 3 massive alien ships. Today we make history. Battle stations, everyone. Let us show them what humans are made of. The bridge erupted in activity as the crew prepared for the fight of their lives. Outside, the 3 alien ships began to move closer, their weapons charging with deadly light. The Defiant was alone, outnumbered, and outgunned. But for the first time in 3,000 years, someone had said no to the hegemony, and that changed everything. Admiral Kethfer stared at the human ship on his screen. In 300 years of service to the hegemony, he had never heard the word no from another species. Every race they had encountered either surrendered immediately or died quickly. This was different. This was wrong. Admiral, said his second-in-command. What are your orders? Kethfer felt his anger growing. These humans needed to learn their place, target their engines, fire a warning shot, show them what real power looks like. The lead hegemony ship fired a single beam of energy. It struck the side of the human vessel, causing a small explosion. On the Defiant's bridge, sparks flew from damaged systems. Hull breach on Deck 7, reported Lieutenant Torres. Emergency teams are sealing it now. Captain Vasquez gripped her chair as the ship shook. Damage report. Minor damage to the outer hull, Chief Engineer Chun said over the communication system. But Captain, that was just a warning shot. If they had wanted to destroy us, we would. Be dead already, Elena nodded. She knew Shin was right. The alien ships were far more powerful than anything humans had ever built, but knowing that did not change her decision. Open a channel to the alien ships, she ordered. The Admiral's face appeared on the screen again. He looked pleased with himself. Have you changed your mind, human? He asked. That was just a small taste of our power. Surrender now, and your crew will be allowed to live as workers. Continue to resist, and you will all die. We told you our answer, Elena said firmly. It has not changed. Kethver's expression grew dark. Then you will learn what happens to those who defy the natural order. All ships, attack formation. Cripple their vessel, but keep the crew alive. They will make good examples for other species. The three hegemony ships began to spread out, surrounding the Defiant. Their weapons started to glow with deadly energy. Elena turned to her crew. This is it, everyone. Chief Chun, what do we have to work with? Chun's voice came through the speakers. Captain, our ship was built for exploration, not war. But over the past 3 years, I have made some changes. Some improvements that Starfleet Command might not approve of. What kind of improvements? Well, I have been working on increasing our reactor output. And I might have modified our mining lasers to work as weapons. Also, our probe launchers can fire more than just probes, if you know what I mean. Elena felt a small spark of hope. Can we fight them? We can try, Chun said. But Captain, even with all my modifications, we are still badly outgunned. We need to be smart about this. Elena looked at her tactical officer. Park, what do our sensors tell us about their ships? Security Chief Park studied his screens. They are big and heavily armed, but they seem to rely on brute force. Their formation is very formal, very predictable. They fight like they expect their enemies to just stand still and take it. And maybe that is because their enemies usually do, Elena said. Communications, patch me through to the whole ship. Kim nodded. You are on, Captain. Elena took a deep breath. All hands, this is the captain. In a few moments, we are going to fight 3 ships that are much bigger and stronger than we are. The odds are not good. But we have something they do not expect. We have the ability to adapt. We have the will to fight for our freedom. And we have each other. She paused, looking around the bridge at her crew. Today, we are not just fighting for our lives. We are fighting for the idea that no one has the right to make slaves of others. We are fighting for every species in this galaxy that has been forced to bow down. And we are fighting for every human who might one day travel these stars. The hegemony ships finished their formation and began their attack. Beams of energy lanced out toward the Defiant. Evasive maneuvers! Elena shouted. The Defiant twisted and rolled, dodging the first wave of enemy fire. The ship moved faster and more gracefully than the aliens expected. Human ships were built to be flexible, to change course quickly when exploring dangerous areas. Return. Fire! Elena ordered. The Defiant's modified mining lasers fired back. The beams struck the nearest hegemony ship, causing small explosions along its hull. The aliens had not expected the humans to fight back so effectively. Chun's voice came over the speakers. Captain, I am redirecting power from life support to weapons. We have about 30 minutes of air, but our lasers will hit twice as hard. Do it, Elena said. The battle continued. The Defiant darted between the larger ships like a small fish swimming around sharks. Every time the hegemony vessels tried to target them, the human ship was somewhere else. Launch probe cluster 7, Elena ordered, a group of modified survey. Probes shot out from the Defiant. But these were not normal probes. Hyun had filled them with sensor scramblers and small explosive charges. When they detonated near the enemy ships, they created clouds of interference that blocked the aliens' targeting systems. Admiral Kethver watched in growing frustration as his ships fired at empty space. How are they doing this? Their ship is primitive compared to ours. Sir, his tactical officer reported. They are using their exploration equipment as weapons. Their tactics are completely unpredictable. Our computers cannot calculate their next move. Then we will use overwhelming firepower, Kethver snarled. All ships, maximum energy to weapons. Destroy them. The 3 hegemony ships began charging. Their main guns. These were weapons designed to crack planets, not just disable small ships. Elena saw the energy readings on her screen and knew they were in trouble. Chun, how much power do we have left? Not enough to survive those big guns. Captain. But I have an idea. It is crazy, but it might work. I am listening. We overload our reactor and channel all the energy through our deflector array. It will either create a massive energy pulse or blow us up, maybe both. Elena did not hesitate. Do it! The Defiance reactor began to whine as Chun pushed it far beyond safe limits. Energy readings climbed higher and higher. On the alien ships, sensors detected the power buildup. What are they doing? Kethver demanded. Before anyone could answer, the Defiant released all of its stored energy in one massive pulse. The wave of force struck the nearest hegemony ship, just as it was firing its main weapon. The combination of energies caused a chain reaction. The alien ship exploded in a ball of fire and light. Debris scattered in all directions. For the first time in centuries, a hegemony vessel had been destroyed in combat. The remaining two ships stopped firing, their crews stunned by what they had just witnessed. Elena stared at the expanding cloud of wreckage. We actually did it. We destroyed one of their ships. But the victory came at a cost. The Defiance reactor was failing, and multiple systems were shutting down. Captain, Chun reported, the reactor is critical. We have maybe 5 minutes before complete power failure. Elena looked at the two remaining enemy ships. They were recovering from their shock and beginning to target the crippled human vessel. Can we jump to hyperspace? Negative. The reactor does not have enough power for a safe jump. Elena made a decision that would haunt her dreams if she lived long enough to have them. Then we make an unsafe jump. Set course for anywhere but here. Emergency hyperspace activation. Captain, an emergency jump could tear the ship apart, Wright warned. And staying here will definitely get us killed, Elena replied. Do it. The Defiance damaged hyperspace drive activated. Space twisted around. The ship as it fell into the dangerous realm between dimensions. The last thing Elena saw was Admiral Kethver's face on the screen, his expression one of complete disbelief. Then the stars disappeared, and the Defiant vanished into the dark space between worlds. Behind them, they left something that had not existed in the galaxy for 3,000 years. They left doubt in the minds of the hegemony. They left proof that the impossible could happen. They left hope. The Defiant tumbled out of hyperspace like a wounded bird falling from the sky. Emergency lights flashed red throughout the ship as systems failed one by one. Captain Vasquez picked herself up from the floor where the violent exit had thrown her. Damage report, she called out, tasting blood from where she had bitten her tongue. Multiple hull breaches, Torres reported from his station. Life support is at 30%. Main power is completely offline. We are running on emergency batteries only. Elena looked around the bridge. Half of her crew had injuries from the rough landing back into normal space, but they were alive. Somehow they were still alive. Where are we? She asked. Lieutenant Torres worked at his damaged console. Unknown system. 3 planets, 1 star, lots of asteroids. I think we are in some kind of old mining area. Chief Engineer Chun's voice came through the speakers, weak but determined. Captain, I need to see you in engineering. We have big problems. Elena left Commander Wright in charge of the bridge and made her way through the damaged corridors. The ship groaned around her like a living thing in pain. She passed crew members working to fix broken pipes and seal holes in the hull. Everyone looked tired and scared, but no one had given up. Engineering was a mess. Cables hung from the ceiling and several control panels had exploded during the jump. Chun stood next to the main reactor, which was making strange humming sounds. How bad is it? Elena asked. Bad, Chun replied. The reactor is stable for now, but barely. We used up most of our fuel in that energy pulse attack. Even if I can fix everything else, we do not have enough power to make another hyperspace jump. How long until we can move again? If we work around the clock and everything goes perfectly, maybe 2 weeks. But Captain, that assumes we can find materials to make repairs, and we need to find fuel somewhere. Elena nodded slowly. 2 weeks. That was a long time to stay in one place when the most powerful fleet in the galaxy was probably looking for them. Do what you can, Marcus. I will see what we can find in this system. Elena returned to the bridge and ordered a full sensor sweep of the area. What they found surprised her. Captain, Torres said with excitement, I'm picking up metal signatures. In the asteroid belt, looks like old mining equipment. Really old. And there are some structures on the second planet that might be artificial. Artificial? You mean someone built them? Yes, but the energy readings are very low. Whatever is, down there it has been abandoned for a long time. Elena made her decision. Take us into the asteroid field. We need materials for repairs and maybe we can hide there while we work. The Defiant limped toward the asteroids using what little power they had left. As they got closer, the sensors revealed more details. The asteroid belt was full of old mining platforms and equipment. Someone had worked this area for years, maybe decades, before abandoning it. Captain, Dr. Kim called from her station. I am reading some very strange things on those platforms. The metal composition does not match anything in our database. And some of the tools look like they were made for hands that are not human. Aliens? Yes, but not like the ones who attacked us. These are different, smaller, the work looks much older too. Elena studied the readings. Take us to the largest platform. We will dock there and see what we can find. The mining platform was huge, easily 10 times the size of the Defiant. It was built into a massive asteroid and covered with docking bays, storage areas, and equipment that Elena did not recognize. As they approached, their sensors detected something unexpected. Captain, Torres said quietly, there are life signs on that platform, weak ones, but definitely alive. Elena felt her heart start to race. More aliens. But these readings were different from the hegemony ships, smaller, less threatening. Security team to the docking bay, she ordered. Dr. Kim, you are with me. Let us go meet our new neighbors. The docking bay of the platform still had atmosphere, though it was thin and cold. Elena, Dr. Kim, and 4 security officers walked carefully through the metal corridors. The walls were covered with symbols and writing that none of them could read. They followed the life sign readings deeper into the platform until they reached a large central chamber. What they found there made Elena stop in surprise. Dozens of aliens sat around small fires, trying to stay warm. They were much smaller than humans, with gray skin and large eyes. Their clothes were torn and dirty. They looked up at the humans. With fear and hope mixed together, one of them stood up slowly. It was clearly old, with wrinkled skin and slow movements. When it spoke, the words were strange, but Dr. Kim's universal translator began to work. Are you here to take us back to the work camps? The alien asked in a weak voice. Work camps? Elena said. No, we are not here to take anyone anywhere. We are travelers, our ship is damaged, and we need help. The old alien stared at her for a long moment, then it began to cry. Not tears of sadness, but tears of relief. You are not hegemony, it said. We thought all the free peoples were gone. Elena knelt down to be at the same level as the small alien. What is your name? I am Keeper Zell of the Gentari people. We have been hiding here for 20 years since our world was taken by the hegemony. 20 years? How many of you are there? 43 adults and 19 children. We are all that is left of a world that once had millions. Dr. Kim stepped forward. What happened to your people? Keeper Zell's large eyes grew sad. The hegemony came to our world when I was young. They said we could serve them or die. Most of my people chose to serve. They were taken away to work in the factories and mines. But some of us escaped here, to this old place that was abandoned long ago. Elena felt anger building inside her again. The hegemony did this to your entire world? To our world and many others. The galaxy is full of species like us. Broken peoples hiding in forgotten places, afraid to hope for anything better. Elena stood up and looked around at the frightened faces watching her. These people had been living in fear for 20 years, hiding in an old mining station, slowly dying as their hope faded away. Keeper Zell, she said, my ship fought the hegemony. We destroyed one of their vessels and escaped. The chamber went completely silent. Every alien stared at Elena with disbelief. That is impossible, Zell whispered. No one fights the hegemony? No one can. We did, and we can prove it. Elena activated her portable communicator. Torres, send down the sensor recordings of our battle. A small hologram appeared in the air, showing the Defiant fighting the 3 hegemony ships. The aliens watched in amazement as the recording showed the human ship destroying the alien battlecruiser. When the recording ended, Keeper Zell fell to his knees. "The prophecy," he whispered. "The old stories said that someday travelers would come from far away and remind the galaxy what freedom meant." Elena helped the old alien to his feet. "What prophecy?" "My grandmother told me stories that her grandmother told her. Stories from before the hegemony ruled everything. Stories about peoples who fought for their freedom and won. We thought they were just stories to help children sleep at night." Elena looked around at all the hopeful faces watching her. She thought about her damaged ship and her tired crew. She thought about the hegemony ships that were probably searching for them right now, but she also thought about what her grandfather would do. He would not leave these people here to die slowly in the dark. "Keeper Zell," she said, "we came here looking for materials to repair our ship, but maybe we found something more important. Maybe we found allies." The old alien's eyes began to shine with something they had not held for 20 years. Hope. Elena activated her communicator again. "All hands, this is the captain. We are not alone anymore." War Marshal Vexful stood on the bridge of the Void Sovereign and watched the stars with cold, calculating eyes. He was the hegemony's most feared commander, a being who had crushed 17 rebellions and brought 34 species to their knees. His ship was the largest and most powerful vessel in the hegemony fleet, a black mountain of metal and death that could destroy entire worlds. The message from Admiral Kethver had reached him 3 days ago. A small alien ship had refused to surrender. That was unusual but not unheard of. New species sometimes needed to be taught their place with force, but then the message continued. The small ship had destroyed a hegemony battlecruiser and escaped. That was impossible. It had never happened before in 3,000 years of hegemony rule. "War Marshal," said his second-in-command, a tall alien with blue skin and 4 arms, "we have reached the battle site. Admiral Keffer is waiting for your orders." Vexthal turned from the window. His face was like carved stone, showing no emotion. "Bring him aboard. I want to hear this story myself." An hour later, Admiral Kethver stood in the War Marshal's private chamber. He looked smaller than usual, his confidence shaken by what had happened. "Tell me exactly what occurred," Vexthal said in a voice like winter wind. Kethver straightened his uniform. "The alien ship was small, maybe 200 beings aboard. They called themselves humans. When I demanded their surrender, they refused. I thought it was just the usual new species bravado, so I fired a warning shot. And then they fired back. Their weapons were crude but effective. They moved their ship in ways I had never seen before. Random patterns impossible to predict. When I ordered full attack, they somehow overloaded their reactor and used it as a weapon." Vexthal's eyes narrowed. "You lost the retribution to, reactor overload? Not just that," Kethver said quietly. "They planned it. They waited until the retribution was firing its main weapon, then released their energy pulse at exactly the right moment. The interaction caused a chain reaction. Tactical genius or pure luck? I do not know. But War Marshal, there was something else. Before they escaped, they sent out a transmission on all frequencies. They told the entire galaxy what happened. They told everyone that the hegemony could be beaten." Vexthal felt something he had not experienced in decades. Concern, not fear exactly, but an understanding that something fundamental had changed. "Show me the transmission." The hologram activated and Elena Vasquez appeared in the air. Her image was damaged by interference, but her voice was clear and strong. "To all peoples of the galaxy," she said. "This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the human vessel UES Defiant. We want you to know that the hegemony can be defeated. They are not invincible. They are not gods. They are bullies who rely on fear to control you." The message continued for several minutes. describing human principles of freedom and calling on other species to resist their oppressors. But it was the ending that worried Vexthal most. "We will continue to fight," Elena said. "We will show the galaxy that freedom is possible. To all the hidden peoples, all the survivors, all those who dream of better days, we say this: you are not alone. Hope lives. Freedom lives. And the hegemony's reign of terror will end." The transmission ended. Vexthal stood in silence for a long moment. "How many worlds received this message?" he asked. "All of them," Kethver replied. "Every planet with communication equipment heard it. We tried to jam the signal, but it was broadcast on frequencies we do not normally monitor." Vexthal walked to his command console and brought up a map of the galaxy. Hundreds of red dots marked hegemony worlds, each one representing billions of conquered beings. "Have there been any responses to this transmission?" "Some," Kethver admitted. "Work slowdowns on 3 mining worlds. A riot on Kepler 7 that took 6 hours to suppress. Several reports of hidden alien groups emerging from hiding places we did not know existed." "How many groups?" "At least 20 so far. But War Marshal, these are just the ones we have detected. There could be many more." Vexthal studied the map. Red dots everywhere, representing 3,000 years of unquestioned rule. But now he wondered how many of those dots were hiding secrets. How many contained aliens who remembered freedom and were waiting for a chance to fight back? "Deploy the hunter fleets," he ordered. "I want every hidden group found and destroyed, and I want this human ship captured or eliminated." "Yes, War Marshal." "But finding one small ship in the entire galaxy will be difficult." "Then we make it easier. Send messages to every hegemony world. Offer rewards for information about humans or anyone helping them. Make it clear that hiding them is a death sentence for entire populations." Kethver nodded and left to carry out his orders. Vexthal remained alone, staring at the galactic map. For the first time in his long career, he felt uncertain about the future. Meanwhile, in the asteroid field where the Defiant was hidden, Elena stood in the main cargo bay watching her crew work alongside the Gentari aliens. The small gray beings were surprisingly skilled at mechanical work, and they knew the old mining equipment better than anyone. "The fusion couplers are almost ready," Chief Engineer Chun reported. "The Gentari showed us how to modify their old mining lasers to work with our systems. We should have main power back online within hours." Elena nodded. Over the past week, the cooperation between humans and Gentari had grown stronger. The aliens were grateful for hope, and the humans were amazed by their new friend's technical knowledge. Dr. Kim approached Elena with a concerned expression. "Captain Keeper Zell wants to speak with you. He says it is urgent." Elena found the old Gentari leader in the platform's communication center, staring at multiple screens showing signals from across the galaxy. "Captain Vasquez," Zell said without turning around, "your message has caused quite a stir." "What do you mean?" Zell pointed to the screens. "Hidden groups all over the galaxy are coming out of hiding. They're trying to contact each other, sharing information, planning things. But the hegemony is responding too. They are hunting down anyone who shows signs of rebellion." Elena felt her stomach tighten. "How many have been caught?" 7 groups so far. Hundreds of beings killed as examples to others. But Captain, for every group they catch, 2 more are broadcasting messages of support. Your ship has done something incredible. You have reminded the galaxy that resistance is possible. Elena looked at the screens showing communication signals crisscrossing the galaxy. Some were messages of hope and support. Others were hegemony hunting orders and threats of punishment. "Are we responsible for all those deaths?" she asked quietly. "No," Zell said firmly. "The hegemony is responsible. They are the ones who choose violence over freedom. You simply reminded people that they have a choice." Elena's communicator buzzed. Tora's voice came through urgently. "Captain, you need to get to the bridge right now. We have a big problem." Elena ran through the corridors to the bridge, where she found her crew staring at the main screen in shock. "What is it?" she asked. Long-range sensors, Torres replied. A massive hegemony fleet just entered this system. 12 ships, including one that is bigger than anything we have seen before. Elena stared at the screen. The lead ship was enormous, easily 20 times larger than the battlecruisers they had fought before. It was black as space itself, covered with weapons that could crack planets. How long until they reach us? She asked. 4 hours at their current speed, Torres said. Captain, that big ship is broadcasting an identification signal. It is the Void Sovereign flagship of War Marshal Vexthal. Elena had heard that name before in Keeper Zell's stories. Vexthal was the hegemony's most feared commander, the one they sent when they wanted to make examples of entire species. He came here personally, she said quietly. We really got their attention, Commander Wright stepped forward. Captain, we still do not have enough power for hyperspace. The repairs are not complete. Elena looked around the bridge at her crew. Then she thought about the Gentari families hiding in the mining platform, about all the hidden groups across the galaxy, who were counting on them to keep fighting. Then we do not run, she said. We make our stand here. And this time we are not alone. Captain Elena Vasquez stood in the cargo bay of the mining platform, looking at the strangest war council she had ever seen. Humans and Gentari worked side by side, preparing weapons and sharing plans. The small gray aliens moved quickly between the machinery, their large eyes bright with determination. The hegemony fleet will be here in 2 hours, Elena announced. We cannot run, so we fight. But this time, we are not just one ship against an empire, we are something new. Keeper Zell stepped forward, his wrinkled face serious. Captain, my people have made a decision. We will not hide anymore. The children deserve to see what freedom looks like, even if we die fighting for it. Elena felt a mix of pride and sadness. These people had suffered for 20 years, and now they were ready to risk everything for a chance at liberty. Chief Engineer Chun approached with a datapad in his hands. Captain, the Gentari have shown us some amazing things. This old mining platform has more firepower than we thought. The rock-cutting lasers can be modified into weapons, and the ore processing systems can launch projectiles at incredible speeds. What? About the Defiant? Elena asked. Main power is restored, but we still do not have enough energy for a hyperspace jump. However, I've been working with the Gentari engineers on something special, something that might give us a chance. Elena raised an eyebrow. What kind of something? Chun smiled. You will see. But Captain, I need you to trust me and keep the hegemony ships busy for at least 30 minutes. 30 minutes against 12 warships, including the Void Sovereign? That is a tall order, Marcus. I know. But if this works, it might change. Everything, Elena nodded. She had learned to trust Sheen's crazy ideas. They had saved them before. 2 hours later, the hegemony fleet arrived in the asteroid field. The Void Sovereign led the formation, its massive black hull bristling with enough weapons to destroy a small moon. War Marshal Vexthal stood on the bridge, studying the sensor readings. Admiral Kethver, he said, show me what you have found. Kethver pointed to the main screen. The human ship is docked with an old mining platform. Our sensors detect approximately 260 life forms total. Mostly the humans, but some aliens as well. What kind of aliens? Unknown species. Small. Primitive technology. Probably refugees or scavengers. Vexthal studied the readings more carefully. Something felt wrong about this situation. In his experience, humans were unpredictable, and unpredictable enemies were dangerous enemies. Open a communication channel, he ordered. Elena's face appeared. On the screen, she looked tired but determined. Behind her, Vexthal could see both humans and the small gray aliens working at various stations. I am War Marshal Vexthal, he said in his coldest voice. You have caused considerable trouble for the hegemony. This ends now, surrender immediately, and your deaths will be quick. Elena stared back at him without flinching. War Marshal, my name is Captain Elena Vasquez. I represent not just humanity, but all the free peoples of this galaxy. We will not surrender, we will not bow, and we will not be silent. Free peoples? Vexthal laughed, a sound like breaking glass. There are no free peoples. There is only the hegemony and those who serve it. Look around you, human. 12 of our ships against your damaged vessel and a mining platform. You cannot win. Maybe not, Elena replied. But we can make sure the galaxy remembers what we stood for, the transmission ended. Elena turned to her crew and the Gentari volunteers who had joined them on the Defiance bridge. All stations prepare for battle. This is for everyone who ever dreamed of freedom. The hegemony fleet began its attack. Energy beams lanced out from the warships, striking the mining platform's shields. But the platform held its ancient but powerful defenses, absorbing the punishment. The Defiant undocked from the platform and began its deadly dance between the enemy ships. Elena had learned from their first battle. She kept the ship moving constantly, never staying in one place long enough for the hegemony weapons to lock on. "Return fire," she ordered. The Defiant's modified weapons struck back, joined by the mining platform's converted rock-cutting lasers. The beams were not as powerful as hegemony weapons, but they were precise and unexpected. Chun, how much longer? Elena called over the sound of explosions. 25 minutes, Captain. Keep them busy. The battle raged through the asteroid field. The Defiant darted between the larger ships while the mining platform stood its ground, absorbing punishment but dealing it back. The Gentari fought with the desperate courage of people who had nothing left to lose on the Void Sovereign. War Marshal Vexthal watched the battle with growing frustration. His ships should have destroyed the humans in minutes, but somehow they were still fighting. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "we have lost 2 escort vessels. The humans are using the asteroids for cover and striking from unexpected angles." "Enough of this," Vexthal snarled. "All ships, focus fire on the mining platform. Destroy it completely." 12 hegemony ships turned their weapons on the platform. The combined firepower was enormous, designed to crack the crust of planets. The platform's shields began to fail under the assault. Elena watched helplessly as her new allies came under devastating attack. "Chun, we are running out of time." "Almost ready, Captain." "Just a few more minutes." But they did not have a few more minutes. The mining platform's shields collapsed, and hegemony weapons began tearing into the ancient structure. Elena could see sections of the platform exploding, taking Gentari lives with them. Then something unexpected happened. Ships began dropping out of hyperspace around the battlefield. Not hegemony ships, but vessels Elena had never seen before. Some were clearly built by different species, with strange designs and unknown technologies. "Captain," Torres said with amazement, "I am receiving transmissions from the new ships. They say they heard our message. They are here to fight." Elena stared at the screen as more ships appeared. A dozen, then 20, then 50. All different designs, all from species that had been hiding throughout the galaxy. All coming to answer the call for freedom. War Marshal Vexthal watched the growing fleet with disbelief. "Where did they come from?" "Unknown, sir," his sensor officer replied. "They are using communication frequencies we thought were abandoned decades ago, sir. More ships are arriving every minute." The battle changed instantly. No longer was it 12 hegemony ships against 1 human vessel and a mining platform. Now it was 12 ships against a growing fleet of rebels from across the galaxy. Chen's voice crackled over the communication system. "Captain, it is ready, but I need to explain what we built." "Make it fast, Marcus." The Gentari showed us how their ancestors used to communicate across the galaxy before the hegemony took over. We combined their old technology with our hyperspace transmitters. We built a galaxy-wide communication network. Elena felt her heart skip a beat. "What does that mean?" "It means everyone can hear us, Captain. Every hidden group, every oppressed species, every person who dreams of freedom, they are all connected now. The hegemony can never silence us again." Elena activated the communication system, broadcasting on all frequencies to every corner of the galaxy. "People of the galaxy," she said. "This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the UES Defiant. Today, we stand together against tyranny. Today, we show the hegemony that their reign of terror is ending. We may not win this battle, but we have already won something more important. We have shown the galaxy that resistance is possible. The message spread instantly across the galaxy through the new network. On 100 worlds, oppressed beings heard Elena's words and began to rise up. The hegemony's 3,000-year rule began to crack like ice in spring. Marshal Vexville realized that he was witnessing the end of everything he had known. Even if he destroyed every ship in this battle, the damage was done. The galaxy would never be the same. The battle continued to rage, but the outcome was no longer certain. More rebel ships arrived every hour. The hegemony had superior technology, but the rebels had something more powerful. They had hope. Elena stood on the bridge of her damaged ship, watching the impossible sight of dozens of species fighting together for freedom. The Defiant had started as one ship against an empire. Now it was the spark that had lit a fire across the entire galaxy. The void had belonged to the hegemony for 3,000 years. But today, humanity and its new allies were taking it back, one battle at a time. The age of freedom had begun.